The alpha vampire thought he was marrying a disfigured human until he saw her face and realized the truth about her scar. But when vampire rebels and angry villagers threaten to tear them apart, will their forbidden love survive the ancient prophecy's deadly price? Ilara Morgan kept her head down as she walked through town. The sun was setting, and she hoped to get home before dark. People turned away when they saw her coming. She heard their whispers. "There goes the witch's niece," someone said. "That ugly scar makes me sick." Ilara touched the jagged mark on her left cheek. She got it in the fire that killed her mom and dad when she was 8. People in town thought it was something bad, not just a sad memory. She lived with her aunt in a small house at the edge of the woods. At 25, Ilara was used to being alone. The herb shop wouldn't hire her, even though she knew all about plants. The baker made the sign of the cross when Ilara came in. Even the library only let her visit at certain times now. In her tiny room upstairs, Ilara found peace with her plant drawings. By moonlight, she drew the special flowers that grew behind her aunt's house. These plants liked the dark and died in sunlight. Ilara felt the same way. Her fingers moved fast on the paper, catching tiny details no one else saw. "Ilara!" Her aunt's voice cut through the quiet. "Come down right now!" Downstairs, Ilara found her aunt shaking. She held a fancy paper with red wax on it. "The moneymen came," her aunt said with tears in her eyes. "I couldn't pay. They'll take our house tomorrow unless..." "Unless what?" Ilara felt sick to her stomach. Her aunt wiped her eyes. "Unless we take the offer from the North Mountains. The Lord of Black Peak Castle wants a wife. They'll pay 10 times what we owe." "You're selling me?" Ilara's voice broke. "They asked for you by name, dear." That night, her aunt packed Ilara's few things. A black carriage came to the door. The driver's face was hidden in shadow. He didn't speak as he put her box in the back. "The trip takes 3 days," her aunt said, pushing a small bottle into Ilara's hand. "If things get bad, drink this. It will end things fast." Inside, the carriage was lined with soft red cloth that seemed to eat the light. As they left town, Ilara saw the horses had red eyes. They moved all night without stopping. The road turned into a mountain path that normal horses could never climb. On the 3rd night, moonlight came through the windows. The driver finally spoke. "We're here, Miss Morgan. Lord Draken is waiting." Black Peak Castle stood tall against the night sky. Its pointed towers reached up into the clouds. As the big iron gates opened with a creak, Ilara knew she had crossed into a place she might never leave. People with very pale skin led Ilara through long halls lit by blue balls of fire that floated in the air. The walls had big cloth pictures showing fights between normal people and scary beings with sharp teeth. In one picture, a woman who looked just like Ilara stood next to a powerful creature with wings. "The Lord will see you in the Great Hall," said a stern woman named Madame Vestra. "You need better clothes." They dressed Ilara in a gown black as night, with silver thread that caught and held moonlight. When Ilara looked in the mirror, she hardly knew herself. The dress somehow made her scar less noticeable and made her silver eyes stand out. "Amazing," Madame Vestra said softly. "You look just like her." "Like who?" Ilara asked. "You'll learn soon enough," was all Madame Vestra said. The great hall was empty except for one tall man standing by a huge fire. Lord Alexander Dracon turned around with a smooth, strange movement. He was tall, with sharp features and an otherworldly beauty that made Ilara catch her breath. His eyes got wide with shock when he saw her. "This can't be," he whispered, coming closer like he thought she might vanish. "They told me you were ugly beyond fixing." I am." Ilara touched her scar. Lord Draken laughed with a bitter sound. Is that what you think? That this tiny mark makes you ugly? He walked around her, looking closely. They lied to you, but I wonder why. Over the next few weeks, Ilara found that Black Peak Castle had many secrets. The workers never ate food. The mirrors were covered up at certain times, and Lord Draken was never seen during the day. Madame Vestra told her things, even though she didn't want to. Lord Drekon is the alpha of the northern lands, she explained while showing Ilara the big library. He's the oldest living vampire. Vampire! Ilara said the word. It was scary but somehow felt right in her mouth. You should be afraid of him, Vestra warned. But I don't think you are. She was right. Even with his scary name, Alexander was gentle with Ilara. He showed her the hanging gardens where plants from all over grew in endless night. When she told him about her own night garden, he gave her rare seeds from far-off places. These bloodroot flowers bloom once every 100 years, he told her one night as they walked along the castle walls. Stories say they first grew where a human with magic blood gave her life for love. Their hands touched by accident, and a spark like lightning jumped between them. Alexander pulled back, his eyes glowing red for a moment. Your blood, he whispered. It calls to me in a way I've never felt before. That night, Ilara dreamed of flying over mountains, her body changing into something strong and endless. She woke to find a single bloodroot flower on her pillow, fully open. In the castle's old library, Ilara found a hidden room behind a moving bookcase. Old books there told of a prophecy. When human blood carries immortal memory, the Alpha will find his true mate, and the ancient houses will be one again. Pictures showed a woman with the exact pattern of Ilara's scar, not an ugly mark, but a sign of power. And next to her stood a vampire king who looked just like Alexander. As she was reading this, Alexander appeared in the doorway, looking serious. You found the prophecy, he said quietly. I wanted to keep this burden from you a little longer. What does it mean? Ilara asked. It means, he said, taking her hand, you are not what you seem to be, Ilara Morgan, and neither was your mother. The truth came out like a dark flower opening. Ilara's mother had been a vampire princess in hiding, running from an old blood fight. The fire that scarred Ilara and killed her parents was not an accident. Bad vampires who feared the prophecy tried to kill them all. Your scar isn't ugly, Alexander said. It's a royal blood mark that only shows up when vampire blood mixes with human blood and lives through fire. The people in town didn't just hate you for no reason. They felt scared of what you really are. Ilara felt like the world turned upside down. If that's true, why didn't my aunt tell me? She's not your aunt, said a voice from the dark corner. Madame Vestra stepped out. She was your mother's helper, told to hide you among humans until you grew up. But she got greedy. The bride price, Ilara whispered as she understood. Alexander nodded with a grim face. She tried to get money from me while lying about you. She said you were very ugly, hoping I would say no to the match when I saw you. But why would she do that? Because if we marry, your sleeping vampire blood wakes up, he explained. And some people really don't want that to happen. Just then, the castle alarms rang out. Guards ran past the library door with weapons ready. Humans, Alexander growled. At my gates. From the castle walls, Ilara saw torches coming closer. An angry crowd from her town led by the town judge, and to her surprise, her aunt. Give back the girl, the town judge shouted. We know what unholy thing you planned, demon. Alexander's eyes blazed red. They have hawthorn and silver, Someone told them how to hurt us. Ilara's aunt stepped forward. Ilara, the drink I gave you, take it now. Save yourself from this monster. With sudden clearness, Ilara knew the protection bottle had poison in it. Before she could think about this betrayal, a burning arrow hit the tower where they stood. Fighting broke out as vampire guards fought the angry crowd. Inside the castle, worse trouble started. A group of vampires led by Lord Kieran, Alexander's cousin, turned against them. The prophecy must not come true, Kieran said, facing them in the great hall. A half-blood cannot be our queen. She's not half-blood, Alexander argued. Her change has already started. Kieran laughed coldly. Then we'll end it before it's done. He pulled out a silver knife. The old books say her blood must be spilled by her mate during the red moon to finish the change. Without that, she's just human and easy to kill. Trapped between human hate outside and vampire lies inside, Ilara and Alexander went to the heart of the castle, an ancient room under the mountain. The red moon rises tomorrow night, Alexander said with worry. If we do the ritual, you'll have the power to end this fight. But Ilara... His voice broke. The change hurts more than you can imagine, and you can never go back to being human. Ilara touched her scar, now faintly glowing. What life? Being feared and hated for something I never understood? Living as less than what I am? Above them, the sounds of fighting got louder. The humans had broken through the outer walls. Kieran's followers were searching room by room. There's something else, Alexander admitted. The ritual needs sacrifice. I must give up my endless life to start yours. I will grow old and die like any human. Ilara's heart hurt. You would do that? For someone you barely know? His eyes softened. I've waited 500 years for you. A human lifetime with you is worth more than forever alone. In that moment, Ilara made her choice. She took the special knife from his hands. Tomorrow night, she said firmly, we end this together. The red moon made the ritual room glow like blood through the glass roof. Ilara stood in the middle, wearing a white silk dress with old vampire signs sewn on it. 7 black candles made a safe circle around her. Alexander had told her everything. The ritual needed blood given freely, old words spoken under the red moon's light, and most important, true love between them. Without all 3 things, it would fail in a bad way. They had just one chance. The room doors burst open. Kieran led his rebel vampires inside, and behind them came the humans, including Ilara's fake aunt. Stop this awful thing, Kieran ordered. Kill the monsters, the town judge shouted. Alexander stepped in front of Ilara. You're too late. The ritual has started. The red moonlight had lit up the ritual circle. A wall of shimmering light kept anyone from getting close. Ilara? Her aunt called out. These creatures killed your parents. They gave you that ugly scar. No, Ilara said calmly. You did that when you stole me from who I really am. Alexander took his place across from Ilara in the circle. The old knife gleamed between them. Blood of my blood, he said in the old vampire language. Heart of my heart, Ilara answered, the words coming to her like she always knew them. What I give freely can never be taken. What I receive willingly can never be spoiled. Ilara took the knife and cut her hand, letting her blood drip into a silver cup. Alexander did the same. When their blood mixed, it sparked and glowed with strange light. Kieran threw himself at the light wall, trying hard to stop them. He's lying to you. The prophecy doesn't need his sacrifice. It needs your death. He plans to drink all your blood. Doubt flashed on Ilara's face, but Alexander's eyes held only truth. "Trust what you feel, Ilara. Your blood knows mine." She drank from the cup, then gave it to him. As Alexander lifted it to his lips, Kieran broke through the wall and jumped, knocking the cup away. "No!" Ilara cried as the precious mix spilled. The red moon's light grew dim. The ritual was failing. "There's another way," Alexander said quickly. He pulled Ilara close and whispered, "My life for yours, freely given." Before she could stop him, he cut his wrist and pressed it to her lips. "Drink, my love." As his immortal blood entered her body, Ilara shook with pain. It felt like hot metal flowed through her. Her scar burned white hot, spreading pretty patterns across her skin. Not scars, but ancient vampire marks. Alexander began to age before their eyes, his endless life flowing into Ilara. "Stop him!" Kieran screamed. "He's giving his alpha power to her." The humans, seeing this strange change, ran away scared. Only Ilara's fake aunt stayed, her face twisted with hate. "I should have killed you in that fire with your mother!" she hissed, raising a silver knife. With superhuman speed, Ilara caught the woman's wrist mid-strike. Her newly changed body moved like a wild animal, her eyes glowing silver instead of the normal vampire red. "You failed then," Ilara said, her voice full of new power. "And you fail now." The change finished with a burst of light that knocked everyone down. When the dust settled, Ilara stood transformed. Her skin glowing, her scar now a bright silver mark that showed she was vampire royalty. Beside her, Alexander had aged to his prime human years, still handsome but clearly mortal now. Kieran and his followers knelt unwillingly. "The Alpha Queen," they whispered. The prophecy came true. Ilara helped Alexander to his feet. "You gave up everything," she whispered. He smiled, touching her face where the scar had changed into a mark of power. "I gained everything. One lifetime with you is worth 1,000 without." 3 months later, Black Peak Castle had changed. Under Ilara's rule, a careful peace had started between vampires and the nearby human towns. The night gardens grew with plants thought to be gone forever. Even Kieran had accepted her power after she spared his life. In their private rooms, Ilara and Alexander stood on the balcony, looking over the mountains. His hair now had some silver in it, but his eyes still showed the same love. "Any regrets?" she asked, watching the moon rise. "Only that I thought you were ugly before I met you," he laughed. "The biggest shock in 500 years was finding my arranged bride wasn't just beautiful, she was extraordinary." Ilara smiled, showing small fangs. "We were both lied to about who we really are. Maybe that's why we saw truth in each other." Below them, vampires and humans gathered for the first peace talk in centuries. The Alpha Queen and her mortal king would lead together. 2 worlds joined by love and sacrifice. Ilara spread her new wings, another gift of her full change. Unlike the bat-like wings of other vampires, hers looked like a great owl's, with silver feathers. "Shall we make an entrance, my love?" she asked, holding out her hand. Alexander took it without fear. "Lead the way, my queen." As they went down to the great hall, everyone saw what no one could have imagined, a vampire queen with her mortal king. Neither made less by the other, both changed by love that was stronger than blood, time, and sacrifice.